Ancient black box hints at what really killed the dinosaurs. Fine dust suspended in the atmosphere may have played a significant role in the extinction of dinosaurs after all. It's largely accepted that around 66 million years ago, a space rock larger than Mount Everest smashed into what is today the coast of Mexico, setting off a cascade of catastrophes that ultimately killed 3/4 of life on Earth, most famously the non-avian dinosaurs. But the finer details of how all this unfolded are still up for debate. And now scientists have cracked open the geological black box that suggests that asteroid impact created a plume of fine dust which blocked the sunlight, cooled the Earth, shut down photosynthesis, and destroyed the food chain. Originally proposed as mechanisms in 1918 by geologists who uncovered the first signs of the mighty impact, the hypothesis was ruled out in the early 2000s because rock samples from this era did not contain enough fine dust to cause a global winter. However, most previous studies were based on 1 centimeter thick layers of sediment from the Cretaceous Paleogene period, not a lot of dirt to sink one's teeth into. This new study analyzed 40 samples of sediment taken from a much richer 1.3 meter deep deposit in Tanis, North Dakota. This site is 3,000 kilometers, about 1,900 miles from the Yucatan Peninsula Chicxulub asteroid crater impact, but it provides a unique snapshot of how plumes of dust, soot, and particles spread in the years post-impact. Larger particles scattered light at smaller angles than finer particles, so using a laser, the researchers were able to determine how much of each sample was made up of fine silicate dust in the 0.8 to 8 micrometer range. We found a larger contribution of fine dust than previously appreciated, wrote the researchers. And using computer modeling, the researchers discovered that this fine dust, created when the asteroid hit the Earth and pulverized the rock underneath, was the most lethal of the particles released when the 10 to 15 kilometer wide meteorite collided with Earth. They found that high levels of dust in the atmosphere would have created a global darkness lasting almost 2 years, which would have made it impossible for plants to photosynthesize. And without plants, the entire food chain would have collapsed. The top predators, like Tyrannosaurus rex, hunted prey that depended on plants as part of their diet. This dust could have stayed suspended in the air for up to 15 years, causing a 15-degree centigrade fall in global temperatures and introduced a photosynthetic shutdown for almost 2 years post-impact by blocking sunlight, the researchers wrote. The shock of the collision also would have vaporized rock and produced sulfur-bearing gases that form into smaller particles high in the atmosphere, and the intense heat produced by the asteroid's impact would have sparked large-scale wildfires, sending large amounts of soot and ash into the sky. Yet according to the researchers' results, it was the fine silicates rather than material like sulfur particles that were primarily responsible for the extended planetary winter. We find that the global darkness and prolonged loss in the planet's photosynthetic activity occurred only in the silicate dust scenario, up to nearly 1.7 years, that's 620 days after impact, the researchers wrote. And this constitutes a sufficiently long time scale to pose severe challenges for both terrestrial and marine habitats, those animals and plants that were not adapted or could not adapt to live in the dark and cold would have met their demise. Flora and fauna with flexible diets, habits, and lifestyles would have had a greater chance of survival. The Chicxulub asteroid impact also unleashed a mega tsunami, 1.5 kilometers tall, that's very high, that hit every continent on Earth and set off seismic activity 50,000 times more powerful than the 2004 Sumatra earthquake. Couldn't you imagine? That's astonishing. This paper was published in Nature Geoscience, and it's on Science Alert by Felicity Nelson. Please leave your comments. Thank you for your support. support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.